Some say art is just paint and canvas, but sometimes a brush carries something more. A warning no one asked for, a destiny no one saw. Tonight, the rain-slick streets of a nameless city whisper a story. One man, one painting, one clock that shouldn't exist. This is Tales of the Watcher, where shadows tell what eyes dare not see. The rain falls light, but relentless, like a veil over the city. It's the kind of night where the air feels thick, heavy with a silence that doesn't explain itself. Downtown, streets pulse with life, but something feels off. The pat-pat-pat of raindrops on asphalt sounds too rhythmic, almost like an invisible clock. Neon signs flicker in red and blue, their reflections warping in puddles into shapeless figures. The air smells of wet concrete mixed with the burnt coffee scent from a nearby street cart, where a vendor stares blankly, oblivious to the hurrying crowd. People pass with crooked umbrellas, faces hidden, as if fleeing something beyond the rain. In the middle of the sidewalk, a street artist sets up his easel on a worn tarp, undeterred by the cold biting his fingers. His canvas is a chaos of colors, blood red, deep blue, black, that swallows light. You're in Tales of the Watcher, where fates are glimpsed, not told, and every step you take is seen by eyes you'll never meet. The air hums with secrets, daring you to listen. Stick around, subscribe for the journey, and in today's story, Leo, 34, is a graphic designer trapped in deadlines and meetings, but at dusk, he's someone else. A street painter, a dreamer with paint on his hands. He has deep, dark circles, messy hair, and a denim jacket stained with coffee and brushstrokes. He's the kind of guy you've seen in line at the store, maybe with a sketchbook tucked under his arm, doodling ideas he never shows anyone. Leo is driven by a restlessness he can't quite explain, a need to leave a mark, to create something that outlives the grind. Tonight, he paints with a strange urgency, as if the canvas knows something he doesn't. He mutters to himself, "Just one more layer," as rain drips onto his forehead. The crowd moves like a river, but one man stops. He wears a grey coat, the hood covering half his face, and stands still, watching Leo's work with an intensity that cuts through the air. Leo feels the weight of the stare, a chill he can't place. He looks up, but the man is gone, swallowed by the stream of pedestrians. On the wet ground lies a crumpled piece of paper. Leo picks it up, hesitant. It's a rough sketch of a clock, jagged lines, no hands, but with a presence that unsettles. Scrawled below in black ink, "It's already ticking." Leo frowns, the paper trembling in his hands. He glances around, but there's no sign of the stranger. Some warnings arrive uninvited, and once seen, they cannot be ignored. Back at his cramped apartment, walls covered in sketches and paint cans, Leo can't sleep. The crumpled paper sits on his nightstand, its jagged lines almost glowing under the dim lamplight. He closes his eyes and dreams. An old clock tower, its face blank, but the air hums with a relentless tick-tock that seems to come from inside him. In the dream, the tower is surrounded by a crowd, faces blurred, eyes wide with fear. He wakes sweating, the sound of the clock still ringing in his ears. "Just a dream," he mutters, but his voice shakes. In the morning, as he sips coffee, the kitchen radio crackles. The historic downtown clock tower, closed for a decade, will reopen tomorrow in a modest ceremony. Leo drops his mug. Coincidence? He doesn't believe in coincidences, but he also doesn't believe in premonitions. Or does he? At work, Leo is off. He should be finishing a banner for a client, but his fingers trace clocks in the margins of his notebook, handless circles, jagged lines like the sketch. His co-worker, Mia, a 28-year-old copywriter with an easy smile, notices, "Leo, you look like you saw a shadow move around the corner. You okay?" He forces a smile, But the word shadow sticks. He tells her about the sketch, half joking, half serious. Mia laughs, but her eyes waver. Maybe it's just one street artist messing with another, she says, but she doesn't sound convinced. That night, Leo returns to his tarp on the street, the rain heavier now. He starts a new mural, a faceless crowd under a towering clock, no hands. He didn't plan it. The shapes just emerge, as if the paint has a will of its own. A shiver runs through him, but he doesn't stop. As Leo mixes colors, a woman rushes by, her black umbrella snagging his tarp. She stops, apologizes, but her eyes land on the mural. "That clock," she murmurs, her voice nearly lost in the rain. "I've seen it before, in a dream." Leo blinks, stunned. "What dream?" he asks, but she shakes her head, frightened, and hurries into the crowd. He calls after her, but she's gone, leaving only the echo of her words. The neon lights flicker, and for a moment, Leo swears he sees a shadow move on the wall where he paints, not his, but another, taller, more angular. He turns, but no one's there. Some signs are so subtle you doubt your eyes, but they're there, waiting. Leo can't stop thinking about the sketch, the dream, the woman. He Googles the clock tower during lunch. It's just a local landmark built in the 19th century, closed after a fire 10 years ago. Nothing special, except for a note on an obscure blog. They say the tower holds secrets, that its clock stopped at the exact moment of the fire, as if it knew. Leo laughs, but it's forced. He decides to visit the tower that afternoon. The place is a stone skeleton, surrounded by rusted scaffolding. The air is heavy, smelling of mold and wet metal. As he walks, he spots graffiti on the tower's base. Another clock, no hands, identical to the sketch. He touches the wall, and the paint is still fresh. His heart races. Who did this, and why? Back at the mural, Leo notices something that makes his blood run cold. The crowd he painted now has details he doesn't recall adding. Blurred faces, eyes wide, mouths open in silent screams. He swears he didn't paint them. The rain doesn't wash them away. On the contrary, the colors seem more vivid, as if the canvas is breathing. A low hum starts, not in the street, but in his head, like an old machine waking up. On his way home, he sees a billboard advertising the tower's reopening. Time starts running again. The slogan seems harmless, but Leo feels a tightness in his chest. His phone buzzes, a notification about a gas leak near the tower, but no risk, the news says. He doesn't buy it. Leo is torn. Part of him wants to throw the sketch away, erase the mural, forget everything. But the tick-tock from the dream is back, louder now, and he feels pulled towards something bigger. He decides to go to the tower's reopening at dawn. Before leaving, he looks at the sketch again. The words, "It's already ticking," seem darker, as if the ink bled into the paper. Have you ever wondered why some doors open on their own? Destiny doesn't explain. It just calls. Dawn breaks cold, the sky a blanket of grey clouds. The tower's reopening is a small event, with a bored mayor, a few local reporters, and a sparse crowd of onlookers. Leo stands at the edge, his backpack clutched tight, the mural vivid in his mind. The hum is louder now, real, coming from somewhere inside the tower. He sees the clock's face. No hands, just like in the dream. The sketch, the mural. A worker shouts, pointing to a valve at the tower's base. "Gas! Shut it down!" The crowd stirs, a murmur of unease growing. Leo feels the air thicken, as if time is holding its breath. Suddenly, a spark flares inside the tower, a flash followed by a boom. It's not a catastrophic explosion, but enough to send metal shards and dust flying. The crowd panics, running in all directions. Leo spots a man, maybe one of the reporters, standing in the path of a beam swaying on the scaffolding. Without thinking, he sprints and shoves the man, falling to the ground with him. The beam crashes inches from where they were, Screams blend. With the rain and the tick-tock, only Leo seems to hear. He looks at the man he saved. Was it the same one who left the sketch? No, impossible. Or is it? As the dust settles, no one is hurt, but the tower's clock starts ticking. Loud, deliberate, despite having no hands. Leo freezes, the ground trembling beneath him. He realizes with a chill that the sketch wasn't predicting a catastrophe, but a moment. The instant he chose to act. If he hadn't pushed the man, what would have happened? The mural, the dream, the graffiti, all pointed to this. Not every premonition is about what happens. Some are about what you do. The crowd disperses, reporters calling it a minor scare. Leo stands alone, staring at the tower. The ticking has stopped, but the air still feels alive, as if something is watching. He checks the mural that night. The faces in the crowd are gone, washed away by the rain, or perhaps they were never there. He pulls the sketch from his pocket. The words, "It's already ticking," are nearly faded, as if the ink dissolved. Relief washes over him, but so does a doubt he can't shake. Was it all a coincidence? Or was he part of something bigger, something he doesn't understand? Leo returns to his routine, but he's not the same. He paints with more care now, as if every stroke could hide a secret. He notices things he didn't before. A stranger who lingers too long, a shadow that seems to move on its own. He talks to Mia but doesn't tell her everything. "Ever feel like something chose you?" he asks, half joking. She laughs, but her eyes hesitate. Leo keeps the sketch in a drawer but doesn't throw it away. He doesn't know why. Maybe because deep down, he believes the Watcher is still out there watching. This is Tales of the Watcher, where shadows tell what eyes dare not see. Until next time, keep watching.